This anime figure costed me $770, and today we're gonna find out if it was actually worth it. Definitely not. Today's video is sponsored by Buy. Huge thanks to them because, well, they're going to help pay off this figure because I know this video isn't going to. Buy is a proxy shipping service. It's basically a middleman that allows you to buy merch from Japanese websites that ship only within Japan. The website or seller will ship it to Buy, and then Buy will ship it out to you. My primary use for them is finding older anime merchandise that may be sold out in retail stores, but I can get them on secondhand. So, for example, if you wanted to get this New Jersey figure that we're talking about today, she's actually much cheaper than what I bought her at retail if you buy it secondhand. I'll leave a link down below in the description so you can sign up. Check them out. So this is New Jersey from the popular mobile game Azur Lane, and this figure is based off of her bunny skin, Exhilarating Steps. And there's the design right there. Now, I said I paid $770, but that's actually including shipping. The sold price for this figure is around 66,000 yen. So at the time for me, this was costing about 600 Canadian. However, with shipping, as you can see, the box is pretty huge, so the shipping price is not going to be cheap. Shipping is going to vary depending on your location. I actually ended up having to pay 19,000 yen for shipping, and that's just through EMS. If you wanted to go DHL, it'd be a lot more expensive. So totaling that up, that was about another $170 in shipping, which totaled around to $770. Definitely the most expensive figure I've ever bought. The only thing that comes close to this is my Fate Stay Night 15th anniversary figure, The Path. That costed me around 50,000 yen, so this was also manufactured by Freeing, who was pretty much the kingpin when it comes to 1/4 figures. If you see a 1/4 figure, there's a good chance that it's made by Freeing. I think they're an okay manufacturer, but I feel like ever since the pandemic, Freeing has definitely gotten very ambitious with their figure pricing. Like a lot of 1/4s that back in the day would have costed 25,000 yen, nowadays are costing like 45, 50,000 yen. I don't think the quality of the figures themselves have actually bumped up to justify that price. I'm gonna have to put this down for a second. Holy. Always get the bottom selection out first. I sort of cut off the top layer for this one. Oh boy, this is getting off to a great start. Oh my god, there's like 4 layers of tape for this thing, bro. Oh, I cut myself. Not with this. The blister packaging edge cut straight into my finger. I will be right back. Oh, that's gonna sting. Okay. Oh, that stings. I hate blister packaging tape. It's so annoying to cut off. It's even worse when there's like literally quadruple the amount that there normally is for a figure. Alright, so we have the 4 base design. This is the main base. Black plastic. Alright, so here are the 3 additional bases. Personally, I don't actually see myself using these. These extra ones are for her strands of hair because her hair is very long. It's gonna be touching the floor. It's this. Alright, and that is her long hair piece. Okay, onto the main piece. Alright, let's get started. We have the gigantic pole. Alright, and then we got her little anchor tail. Inside here, we have her little bunny ears. Very nice. Some more strands of hair. And then we have New Jersey. Oh, and it seems like they have little placeholders of where the pieces are supposed to go. So here are her 2 hair strands. And on the back, this is where her ponytail goes. Just based off first impressions, the stockings feel nice. Now let's get on with the assembly process and then we'll give my final thoughts. And here we go. This is Azur Lane's New Jersey 1/4 bunny figure Exhilarating Steps by Freeing. Now, before we get into the figure, I'm going to just run over the box real quick. It's got some wonderful photography of the figure all around, and I think design-wise, they're going for that nightclub, nightlife aesthetic with the strip lights, you know, the blue and the purple, so I think it looks pretty good. The only detriment about the box is definitely the size. It's pretty big, so you're gonna need a good place to store it. If you're a collector like me and you like keeping all of your figure boxes, like I have kept every single figure box I've ever had for every single figure, you're definitely gonna run into an issue for storing this box. I'd hate to see you throw it out. You've actually already seen what's inside the box, so we'll just jump straight into the assembly process. Kind of a pain in the ass, not gonna lie. You'd think for 66,000 yen, the experience would be pretty easy and seamless, but well, the first step is to add the pole into the base. And then you put New Jersey's left hand on top of the pole and just try to push it down and slide her in, and then put her feet onto the base. However, if you do it this way, you're not gonna actually be able to do it because it just doesn't physically let you. Like, I've tried, as you can see from the footage here, I do it the exact way that the instructions tells me, and I seriously cannot do it. I don't know what it is, maybe it's the angle or New Jersey's huge butt, but at this angle, I can't get her foot into the peg. So the correct way that I found, you have to put her on the base first, and then you can slide the pole into her hand and then slide them right down through those cheeks. Now you might end up having to give it a really good pull so you can actually put it into the hole correctly. And it's pretty stiff. I honestly felt like I was going to break something when I was doing it. And again, for a figure that is this expensive, you would hope that you wouldn't have to do something like that. But here we are. So one thing to mention about the pole, don't push it in all the way because it could potentially get stuck in there. Actually happened to me and I had to get some like clamps to kind of help me pull it out, but yeah, be aware. But yeah, after that, very simple process. You can take out the placeholders and then just pop the designated pieces in and you're good to go. As you can see here, I'm not displaying her with the additional bases because that's more of just a protection thing for her hair strands, because as you can see, they're pretty long and they touch the floor. Because if you do decide to display her without the additional bases, you do run the risk of damaging her hair slightly, which I've actually already done, so I can demonstrate to you. Unfortunately, I did run into a little bit of an accident where one of my light stands actually fell and pushed the figure. Now, fortunately, there wasn't actually any visible damage, at least on the top, but it did cause her to slide across the table a little bit, and there is some slight damage underneath one of her hair strands over here. So definitely be careful if you're displaying her without the additional bases. So whenever you're about to move her someplace, make sure you pick her up first before you move her around. But yeah, the multi-base design, it is quite interesting. I think a lot of people would have preferred just one huge circular base, but I think Freeing's thought process is that if they did make a really big one-piece base, think about how big the circle would have to be to like accommodate that space. Like the circumference would be huge on that circle. So I'm pretty sure they went with the little smaller ones just so that it wouldn't take up as much space, even though it kind of already does. They could have also went with an oval shaped base instead of the circular one to kind of cut that size down a little bit. A base similar to like their 1/4 Miku that I picked up a couple years back, but they didn't. I'm sure people out there are probably gonna 3D print a base or something for her, so who knows. Okay, so let's talk about the figure herself. Sculpt wise, I do think she's pretty good, at least when it comes to the body proportions anyways. Legs are thick and long. Facial expression is perfect. I do like the little smug smile she's got going on. Fingers don't look too bad. In terms of the outfit, I mean, it is a bunny figure and it's based off of the illustration. I do like the minor changes to like the standard bunny outfit. You got like the stocking top, I dig that. And you also got like fins on the back of her butt, which is nice. They pretty much captured it 1-to-1. Almost. Sculpting for the hair can be a little bit messy in some places, especially in the front bangs. I noticed it does kind of look a little bit messy, and also in certain spots on the longer hair strands, it's not as clean as it probably should be. Paint job is all right as well. Like her skin tones are fine, they don't look bad. I think they did get the color of blue correctly for her hair, like it's the right shade and everything. I just find the colors to be just slightly dull. Like it could have used a little bit more vibrancy. If you compare it to the promotional photos, her hair there definitely looks a little bit more brighter. Underneath her right foot does have a pretty bad paint job. It's a little bit messy. It's not as clean as it should be, which again, for 66,000 yen, unacceptable. I love the pose too, you know, with the strip pole. Like you don't really see that in too many figures. Now, the biggest tragedy about this figure is her right foot. If you've noticed, it's not actually touching the pole. I know some people out there probably don't care about the foot not touching the pole, but that was the biggest thing for me. Like I legitimately wanted to cancel the figure after I saw that the actual retail product was like this. You had one job, Freeing. It kind of ruins like I don't want to say the immersion because that feels a little bit weird talking about a figure, but it would just make sense. You know, obviously when she's like swinging on the pole and when she's leaning forward, you would expect that her foot would go against the pole to kind of just keep her balance. But in the figure, it's kind of just dangling there and it looks a little bit awkward. My biggest nitpick. I would have canceled it, but I wanted to make this video on it, so I spent the $700 just to make that complaint. Whenever a figure comes out, you always hope that it matches the promos as closely as it can. New Jersey looks fantastic in the promotional photos. In real life, she's pretty close, but like the dull color of her hair, foot not touching the pole, it kind of just ruins it for me. Legitimately, this figure should have been like 30K max. I took a look at Taiho's Race Queen 1/4 from Mimyoid last month, and the quality for that figure is just leagues better than this, and that was literally like half the price of this figure. Not to mention that Mimyo's got a lot of other 1/4 figures that have already been released and also are in the works. You even got another 1/4 figure from Alphamax being made of Bremerton, which looks really good by the way. If you're looking into 1/4 Azur Lane figures, I would definitely not recommend this one unless you're a huge New Jersey fan and you can find it for cheaper than retail. Like when I showed earlier during the sponsored segment, you can get her for about 50,000 yen from some sellers on Yahoo Auctions. So New Jersey fans, if you want a New Jersey figure, I wouldn't recommend this one. I'd tell you go buy Apex's wedding dress figure. I mean, that's not 1/4, but it's gonna be pretty huge for at least at scale, I'm pretty sure. Just look at that dress, it is huge. And she looks stunning. That is probably my most anticipated figure for next year. And also Alter is making a New Jersey figure as well in her default outfit. We still don't got a prototype for that, so we don't know exactly how it's gonna look, nor the price, so keep a lookout for that. Get subscribed. All in all, it's not a bad figure. I think it's decent. It's just not 66,000 yen great. Standard freeing quality. In conclusion, pass. Big thanks to Seswat, Beast, Ralku, Entia, Wandering Kitsune, Babu Chemist, Higeki, OP Magician, Digital Next, Ishitaru, Ultra Blue, Time Mild, Zeta, Melindy Liu, Jacob Price, and Retro.